It is that time of year again. I'm back with another gear list. Yeah, we have a lot of gear to go over. This is going to be a pretty in-depth gear list, like always when I talk about gear. And as always, I will have a supplemental article for you to check out. And if you've been following me for a lot of these years, you'll notice that when I do some of these articles, every now and then I released one of my Excel sheets that has a bunch of pie charts. There's a bunch of data, that way you can figure out where your weight categories are. I'm gonna redo that for this year and upload a new one, so you guys will be able to access that, clone it, create all your gear list, exactly how I do it for whatever hunt you have. I like to take those and I like to duplicate them for every single hunt. So if I have a early season hunt, mid-season, late season, I have different sheets for all those. So this is obviously a gear list, as we're talking about. So this is gonna be a high country muzzleloader, open sight muzzleloader, mule deer hunt. I won't say the state, but if you can piece together a bunch of the gear I have, you probably can figure out one of the two states it probably is. So yes, time frame is going to be, that middle of September. You never know what you're going to get. Hunted before on a muzzleloader hunt and got like a foot and a half of snow. So this is a lot of just early season gear. And obviously I'm going to have some extras in my truck just in case I need to throw some more extreme weather gear, stove, teepee, that sort of thing. But we're going to get going here in a second. But first I want to talk about the gear choices I have and why I do these gear lists and why I think they're beneficial to you. So sole purpose I do these gear lists, I've been doing this gear list forever, is to help you. You don't have to use exactly the brands, the items, the gear pieces that I use. These are just suggestions of what I use so that you can plan for your own hunts. And like I said, brands don't matter. Sure, I like certain brands I use. Other brands I've changed over the years. I'll get it out of the way as well because you guys did my boy Trail dirty on the last video. We don't get paid from anyone besides for Go Hunt. So yes, if you saw me earlier this year, you saw I switched to Stone Glacier. I have Initial Ascent backpack this year. None of those companies are paying me to use their gear. We have a gear shop here at Go Hunt, and we are, testing gear all the time, trying to figure out what works best for us. That way we can have different suggestions for customers when they ask us questions. So yes, I'm running Stone Glacier right now and other pieces of gear, but no one's paying me, and I'm using them gladly because they work. So you don't have to use those. I've been, since I've been, I guess, in the hunting industry for over 11 years, basically full time, I've only switched clothing companies 3 times. So I use the big names. They all work. They're all great. There's certain things I love about different pieces. And just figure out what works best for you. You don't have to use, again, exactly what I do here. But again, I just do these to help people plan and prepare for a hunt. So these suggested items, figure out what you need, what you like, how you want to use these pieces, and go have fun, go hunting. So we'll dive right into it. First off, I wanted to talk about backpack weight. So when it comes to backpack weight, a lot of people break these out into multiple different confusing ways to talk about backpack weight, because you have basically, your base weight, which is no food, no water, no weapon. What I like to call a full weight, which is food and no weapon, and then no water, and then basically trailhead weight, which is everything you're going to be carrying. So that's going to be backpack, all your gear, all your food, the water you're going to be carrying, and most likely you're going to be carrying a weapon on your backpack. So include that in there as well. So break those 3 out. My base weight, again, which is no food, no water, and no weapon attached to it, 38.17 pounds. So that's a backpack, that's all the gear. So my full weight of my backpack, that's food, no weapon, and the water is not in the containers, is 53.38. And then what I call my full trailhead weight that I'm going in, that's everything, food, all the water I'm carrying on my body at that time, and the weapon is 63.73 pounds. And right away, you might be like, oh, this is not the lightest backpack gear list in the world. It's not. I've definitely done lighter before. You'll see with the muzzleloader setup and the time of year I'm going into, there's this specialty gear I need to be carrying. So I just gotta carry it. I've kind of switched my strategy over throughout the years, so I do cut weight, and I'm pretty psycho with some certain pieces of gear, but other pieces of gear, I like it heavy because I just want to have gear that works. So I'm not willing to sacrifice some things, other areas I will sacrifice. So it's just a give and take. And that's why I really like those spreadsheets that I create. You can kind of see where your backpack weight, where your gear weight, where your optics weight, where your clothing weight, and how that plays into it all. And I will try to go into more of these clothing and gear weights as we go through, but that's basically backpack weight as best as I can measure it out. I've tried weighing everything, have all these Excel spreadsheets, and I'll probably weigh it afterwards after I stuff everything in my backpack. But yeah, I'm going into the mountains on this muzzleloader mule deer hunt at 63.73 pounds, give or take a few ounces here or there. So yeah, we'll just dive into all these gear categories next. All right, to start this off with the gear section, I'm gonna go clothing on my body. And again, this is where it kind of can get confusing when people talk about backpack weights, because I do have some certain things on my body that go into a different category, like the optics and all that. But if you really want to get crazy, you can minus things out either way. But clothing on the body, which includes the boots, which includes insoles, gaiters, you know, my watch, both watches to that matter, my hat, vest, everything like that, 8.44 pounds. So that's all the clothing on my body when I'm hiking in. And so we'll start off with those items that I'm going to be wearing on my body. These are the Saks Quest boxers. I just like these because they breathe. I like them that they're compression, and they have all these dots everywhere, so they do breathe really well when I'm in the backcountry. And I will say right off the bat, I only use one pair of boxers for an entire 10-day hunt. I just get by with that. I don't feel like I'm ever wishing I had another set of boxers. I don't think you need more than one pair of boxers. One works for me. So one pair of boxers for an entire 10-day hunt. I probably didn't mention that earlier, but this is a 10-day hunt. So I'll be out there for 10 days. So yeah, I'm carrying one pair of boxers, Saks Quest, the entire hunt. Pants, Stone Glacier, de Havilland Light. Really, really enjoy these pants. So obviously I used a different clothing company for the longest time before this. I've always been intrigued with Stone Glacier clothing. Use these on bear hunt this year with Omar. And wow, these pants are pretty phenomenal. I love being able to dump heat all the way down my leg. So that was hip vent, could go so long I can just dump heat while I'm hiking around, sitting there glassing, zip it all the way up if I need to. And they're long enough for me. I have a 38-inch inseam and I have a 32-inch waist. So it's hard to find a pant that fits me. This pant fits me long enough so it's not high water walking around, and it's just really comfortable. And so yeah, the de Havilland Light, use it on the bear hunt, use it on a bunch of scouting trips already. This pant's awesome. I feel like you can get by this pant throughout all seasons. It's a little hot, I will say, hunting in August, scouting in August, but I could probably get through all the way into November when I just add some base layers underneath it. So this pant is absolutely awesome, and I really do enjoy that contour waist system. That's something I always, when I was wearing a different clothing company, looked at this and was like, man, that'd be really nice to utilize, because on the hunt, you know, your weight's kind of fluctuating. My weight doesn't fluctuate that much, but on a hunt, I'm still kind of losing weight, even though I don't want to lose weight. So that contour waist is really nice to be able to cinch things up and make it more comfortable. For a base layer, I'm just pretty simple. I just like one base layer. I don't have a t-shirt on or anything. Stone Glacier Avro synthetic hoodie. Again, if you've seen any of my gear lists in the past, you know how much I love hoodies, and I love, you know, a quarter zip design. That way I can dump heat if need be. Hoods in the morning are gonna be great. Middle of the day it's gonna be great if it gets a little cooler out. I do not mind stacking hoods on top of hoods. I don't feel like it's uncomfortable. So most of my pieces you'll see here all have hoods on it, because I feel like all these hoods do have a purpose. And as I'm stacking those hoods on top of each other, it's adding some, you know, additional insulation if need be. But this piece is phenomenal. And again, you won't find me in the mountains without some sort of base layer that has thumb holes. Love thumb holes. Love being able to keep my extremities a little bit warm. And I feel like this piece is just really, really comfortable. So been really happy with this. Obviously, I'm very new to Stone Glacier. Well, I had that one spring bear hunt, the last scouting trips. Stone Glacier Performance Belt, simple to the point. Doesn't get in the way with my backpack belt. Fits really comfortable on the Stone Glacier pant. So yeah, Stone Glacier Performance Belt, lightweight, does its purpose. Not much else to say about it. Really like it. Works well. All right, and then for hiking around, I always love a pair of like utility style gloves when I'm hiking, when I'm sitting there glassing, that sort of thing. If I need a pair of gloves for, you know, working around camp, doing chores, cutting wood, whatever it may be, these Stone Glacier Merca gloves are phenomenal. They're really light. I've actually grown to love these a lot. I was Really intrigued too. It's like, it's just like the little things. When you put a glove on, this little loop that has on the back, that is actually really nice. Just the tiny little things. They don't weigh much. They breathe really well. Grown to enjoy them. I can layer them through other things if I need to with the Stone Glacier system, and they just work. So these are the gloves I've been using a lot this spring and summer. So I will hike with those a lot. If I'm not going to be hiking with them, if it's too hot out, I'll throw them in my pocket or eventually toss them in my backpack. Continuing on with other clothing that I wear, obviously I got some socks. These are the Darn Tough 211s. So normally I wear the 212s. These are the 211s. They're just a little bit thinner. Still a good height for a boot and everything like that, but I just always love Darn Tough socks, and their warranty kicks ass. Since this is well, let's continue with the footwear area. So Hanwag Elverstone 2 GTX. I've had these for a long time. These are the boots that, unless it snows, I'm gonna be rocking in the high country. I love these. They're really nimble. I love a flexible boot, and when I'm gonna be navigating a lot of steep terrain for mule deer on a muzzleloader hunt, this is the boot I just like to have. And I always have sheep feet, custom orthotics in the boot as well. But yeah, Hanwag makes awesome boots. If it does gonna snow, I'm probably gonna change it up and use one of their full leather boots. But like I said, I really like those boots, how flexible they are on it. I can just move and feel the terrain as I'm hiking around. I always have gaiters, and you guys can make fun of me if you want to. That is totally fine. Scouting, I'm gonna wear gaiters. Summer, I wear gaiters. September, October, November, December, wear gaiters. Anytime I'm out in the mountains, I wear gaiters. And you look at these, and these are brand new. Yes, they are brand new. Haven't worn them yet, so I'm gonna be scouting here pretty quickly and finally be able to break these in. But these are the Stone Glacier SQ2 gaiters. Again, I saw Omar wearing these on our bear hunt, and I was instantly really jealous because I haven't really paid attention to them a lot because I've been obviously wearing other pieces of clothing. And I just really liked how you can customize that top and actually fit it around your calf muscle. Yeah, I have some larger calves and longer legs, and I was able to customize this a lot to fit me. So looking forward to giving this a go. Hat. It is a muzzleloader hunt in a state that requires orange. So this is the Go Hunt goat hat. Wear it all the time when I'm hiking, hunting. Got to have it for regulations. Vest. Since this is a early season hunt, I opted for our lighter weight orange vest. This is the Go Hunt Vest Western. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah, just a super lightweight material, which I really want on an early season hunt because I'm going to obviously, have a base layer on, and then this. I don't want to have one of those orange vests that like adds a lot of extra insulation because that's going to make me sweat more when I throw a backpack on. So when I'm hunting and hiking around, I'm going to have the vest on always. So I opt for a lighter weight vest on these muzzleloader hunts. Sunglasses. I have a Z-Pack sunglasses case right here. Just got to keep my sunglasses, they don't get scratched. So that's going to be in my pack most of the time. But when I'm hiking around, in the high country or hiking up near snowfields and that sort of thing, or if it does snow, I hate getting snow blindness. I've always had, eyes get really sensitive when you're hiking around snow a lot. Did a lot of stuff like that back in the day in high alpine areas. So these are just the Vortex, I believe they're the Banshee sunglasses. Again, just wear them around camp, wear them hiking around. Obviously, I'm probably not going to hunt or stock in them, but just know they are here in my pack and they're included in all the weight and everything. And I just really like having them, and then having a super lightweight case here to protect them so they don't get scratched up. Almost forgot, got a couple more things on what I wear all the time when I'm hunting. Garmin Enduro 2 watch. I just like to track out my data, track out my sleep, my fitness, that sort of thing. And then I do have the Whoop 4.0 as well. And nice thing about the Garmin, it lasts forever. I never have to bring a charger for it. Problem with the Whoop, trying to hunt with it in the backcountry, it's a little bit difficult. So I do have a charger in one of these little things we'll get to in a little bit. So I will have to charge it every like 4 or 5 days. But I also just like to track all my data when I'm hunting and then compare it when I get home about how my fitness levels are doing when I'm in the mountains. I think that data is actually very, very valuable. Big data guy, love to collect that. So yes, I do wear 2 watches. Do you need 2 watches? No, but I can collect some data while I'm out hunting. And I really like the Enduro 2, how it does have a flashlight built into it. And that flashlight's actually really bright. The other week when I was hunting with Porter, I left my flashlight in the truck and ended up having to use this on the hike out. So another cool feature about the Garmin Enduro 2. And that's all the clothing I'm wearing on my body. All right, now we're on to the other cool part about any backpacking hunt is clothes packed. So when I say clothes packed, these are all the clothes that I'm going to be shoving in my backpack. Clothes that I'm probably not going to be wearing every single second of the hunt, but there could be certain times where I will be layering with these. Obviously when I'm glassing, maybe in the morning, when I'm hiking, cool weather, that sort of thing. So I label these as clothes packed, and this total weight of all my clothes packed here, 7.44 pounds. So that includes rain gear, insulation pieces, extra mittens, you know, a beanie and all that stuff. So we'll go through that right now. Stone Glacier M5 rain jacket. This thing is a burly beast of a rain jacket. I had to use it quite a bit spring bear hunting, and durable. It's not the lightest piece out there, but it's going to last me a long time. And going into the high alpine on a mule deer hunt, there's going to be times where it's going to be storming, and I'm going to be glad I have a nice pair of rain gear. So, and I like it too. I can pack it up fairly small. So M5 rain jacket from Stone Glacier. And you'll see here, I do mix and match colors just so they're easy for me to see. I don't really know if you need to do that, but I just thought it was kind of cool, mix and match colors, so that way I know, hey, these are my pants, these are my jacket. M5 rain pant, not much else to say about it besides for big zips on the side. I can dump heat if I have to wear these and I have to hike around. Same thing, obviously, with the jacket. I can do dumps on the vent, but really grown to enjoy both these pieces of the M5 set from Stone Glacier, because again, it fits me because I have giant inseam, and these actually work really well. Contour waist system on this as well. Overall, just, you know, really great piece of rain gear. We'll go into other pieces that I will wear occasionally. So Stone Glacier Helio hoodie. Again, this is another one of those staple pieces. I feel like you always need that mid-weight insulation piece. I could wear this by itself if I wanted to, but this is a good, you know, get to a glassing knob. I'm sweaty. Maybe I'll change out of my other base layer, throw this on, wait till the other one dries, put them both on. I just love the Helio piece from Stone Glacier. I've had one of these really old ones, or an older version of Stone Glacier's way back in the day. I was testing it out, and yeah, it's just a good piece. So if you need a mid-weight layer, that's going to be perfect. And again, for a guy like me who has really long arms, it fits me really well. And I actually do like how Stone Glacier, in the back of all their pieces, they actually cut them really long, so when I'm sitting down, it's not going to raise up, and you know, my lower back area is going to get whatever rained on or stick in a bunch of brush when I'm sitting there glassing. Another piece too that I'm bringing with, just in case I need it, is the Stone Glacier Helio zip-off bottoms. Again, most of the time I'm not going to hike in these. I might use them glassing if it's really cold out. But I've had those times again where you're sitting up on top of the mountain, you get a rainstorm, you get some sort of snowstorm. And yes, on these high country hunts, like I said, I've experienced a lot of snow before, and I want to sit there and glass. I want to be comfortable when I'm in the mountains so I can glass for longer periods of time. When other people are going to go back to camp, they want to get warm, they want to do whatever, I'm going to stay out there and I'm going to keep hunting because I have tarps, you'll see later, the right gear that I need. So these aren't that much extra weight, so I will pack them. Helio zip-off bottoms from Stone Glacier. They can go perfectly under my Hobble and light pant. And then gloves. We already saw I have a pair of hiking gloves, my like do-it-all utility gloves. I do carry 3 pairs of things to go over my hands. I know it's a lot, but again, I have really long extremities. I'm 6'5", I'm barely 180 pounds, so my hands get cold. So I have the Grapple gloves here from Stone Glacier. Again, that's going to be a glassing glove. That could be a hiking glove in the cold weather. Again, I do like that little loop, putting them on, just the little things. I can use my phone with it really nice. I can combo these inside the altimeter mitts. So these are altimeter mitts from Stone Glacier. Got the piece inside. I can take these, put them in there. If I don't want to have that, want to have some dexterity, I can just use this. You know, if it's raining or snowing or whatever, or really cold. There's so many different ways I can utilize this. I can use this when I'm glassing. Like, I don't really mind a mitten. I'd rather go mitten over glove on the altimeters, just because I like fully being able to, you know, keep my hands together, so my hands are going to be a little bit warmer, and I can still run, you know, the focus knob on a spotter, focus knob on the bino, that sort of thing. So I do like carrying both of these because it's going to help me when it's raining, and then obviously some extra insulation pieces. So I'd love to ditch this if I could, but I carry them in a lot of my hunts. This gets that backcountry safety, backcountry peace of mind. We have the Grumman down jacket and the Grumman down pant from Stone Glacier. I just have them in these little stuff sacks. I actually go back and forth sometimes about I carry this little stuff sacks or not. Sometimes I just don't carry them, and you'll see me do these pack videos before where I just shove things in the bottom of my backpack. It's one thing I don't like when I have all these different like tubular devices, I guess that's the word for it. You'll see these other things, is that there end up being air pockets in between, which is why a lot of these layers that I shove in my backpack, probably won't use these little containers to hold them in there. That way I can just shove them, fill all those air pockets up, so I'm taking up more of that space in my backpack without my backpack getting really wide or really tall. And just, I don't know, I feel like you always need to have down pants on a hunt. I know you've heard all of us talk about that before, but there's always going to be a chance when you have some nasty weather and you're going to wish you had some puffy pants instead of going back to camp. So puffy pants stay with me always. This insulation piece on top, also, it's absolutely probably one of my favorite insulation pieces of all time, and I've used a lot of them over the years. It's just lightweight and it's just super warm. And last piece of insulation is the Stone Glacier Cirque Light little jacket here. So you see I do have a lot of insulation. I'm not carrying a soft shell, so this is kind of that one piece that I can like run and gun up and down mountains, not get too hot. I don't want to, destroy my Grumman jacket. And I actually really enjoy this. I killed my bear wearing this jacket this year, did a lot of hiking in it, and it's just a great insulation piece. So if you're gonna look at getting insulation pieces and you want to ditch a soft shell, Cirque Light, it's hard to beat. Especially with the hood, toss it on there. It's just a good overall piece. It fits well, fits nice with the backpack on, hiking around. And it's just that, again, extra pieces to make it so I can stay out on the mountain longer. And probably could ditch that, but like I said, high country hunts are unpredictable, and I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. Go hunt blaze orange waffle beanie. Just adding some blaze orange and keeping my ears and head warm when I'm out there. So nothing too crazy about it. Just have to have orange on the outerwear. So packing blaze orange beanie rather than doing something else. Got to be fully legal when you're out there on the mountain. So that's the last piece of clothes packed. All right, now we're going to move on to optics. Optics are always one of my most favorite gear categories, just because you can't kill what you can't find. So optics category this year, I have sticky notes written down, as you can see. Total optics weight includes bino harness, rangefinder harness, that sort of thing, tripod, spotter, 8.39 pounds. So this is a little different setup than I've normally been using. A little smaller spotter, changing up some optics. And again, I'm going to toss it out there that I have a lot of friends in, across all hunting companies, across whatever you want to call it, the hunting industry, different brands. And I used Vortex back in the day quite a bit. Obviously, I've switched over and used image stabilization binos from Sig Sauer. Absolutely love those. Friends at Vortex asked if I would rock Vortex optics on this hunt, and I said, sure, why not? So I am running Vortex on this and not Sig. So normally I have a combination of other things, but Vortex optics. So because I'm switching to Vortex on this hunt, I'm going to use the little tiny Razor HD 13 to 39. So this thing is so small. I don't know, I feel like I could fit it in the pocket of my pant. And on top of here, I have the all-in digiscoping adapter. So this is obviously going to be a lighter weight setup than my normal, Swarovski BTX 115 with the ATX. But I do feel like for the style hunt I'm doing, with the binos I'm going to be taking, I'm not going to be limited that much in a lot of things I'm doing. This is going to be lighter weight. I can go run and gun a lot faster. I was deciding between this spotter and some of the other Vortex spotters, but I actually picked this up before it was released a couple years ago. Used it on several hunts. I've even posted photos of it before. Really like it. I think it's actually really bright for what it is, and its compact size, and it's razor glass. So it's always really great when you have bright glass, compact size. So different tool for a different purpose, but for the style hunt I'm doing, it's going to work really well. So that's my spotter. And then binoculars. So I have Stone Glacier Sentinel bino harness, Sentinel rangefinder pouch, Sentinel ballistics, pocket on the side. Been using this bino harness a lot this summer. Obviously, this is also another new piece for me this year, just to try it out, see how I like it. Again, they did not pay me to use it, so I'm just trying it out because I have friends all across the board. Inside here, my old standby, trusty Vortex 12x50 UHDs. As you can see here, these things are dirty, these things are beat up, but they're still kicking. Found a lot of deer with these, and actually I'll jump back and talk about my experience with Vortex optics. Both my 200-inch deer that I've killed, I killed solely because I had Vortex optics. So kind of cool to see what's going to happen this year while rocking Vortex again. So like I said, Vortex 12x50 UHDs. I got an ASIAC bino clamp on the side here, super lightweight, way to glass off a tripod. Since it's a lightweight setup, lightweight spotter, I don't need a big setup, so I feel like this is going to work really well on the Tricer tripod, which we'll get into in a little bit. And I have the Go Hunt Bino Bandit on the top. This is just really nice for getting rid of those sun glare coming into me when I'm glassing off a tripod. And you can always just pull it off if you don't want to use it. But 12x50s I feel like are a great power for hand holding. Obviously, if I had 15s, I would not be able to hand hold them, but I feel like 12s, I can pull them up, glass for bucks when I'm stalking, glass off a tripod if need be, and it's going to allow me to get a little wider field of view. Some of these canyons and places I've been looking at are actually going to be a little tight for my glassing. Some of them are going to be long distance glassing, but 12x50s will get the job done in the mountain I'm going into. So that's that. On the side, I just have Go Hunt's little wind indicator. Always have that handy just in case I need to check out where the wind is going. I'm approaching a buck. One thing I really like too about the Stone Glacier Sentinel Bino Harness system is on the side here, I do have my Kestrel 5700 Elite ballistics and wind meter. So I do have all my muzzleloader data entered in here, so I know what is going to happen in wind. Obviously, I'm a muzzleloader, I can't dial for wind, but I'll know how to hold and all that stuff on here. So I just like to have that ready to go. If need be, I have a backup solution to get my dope for my muzzleloader. In the back of my bino harness, I have a little pouch here. I have 2 extra rangefinder batteries. 2 is definitely overkill because I have obviously 1 in the rangefinder, but you never know if 1 battery is going to fail, something happens. So I keep 2 of them in a little tiny Ziploc bag. I keep them back here. People are like, oh, do you feel that behind you? No, you do not feel these 2 rangefinder batteries on your chest the whole time. I've had it before. I've had them in my backpack. I got separated from my backpack, and my rangefinder battery actually died on a stalk before when I was trying to hunt antelope. Did not have a rangefinder, so I could not kill that buck with my rifle. And I had to go back to my backpack and get my rangefinder battery. That's why keep your rangefinder batteries, extra ones, on your bino harness at all times. You will not notice it on the back. Guaranteed. You have my word. Rangefinder, it's the Razor HD 4000 with Geo Ballistics. Again, all my muzzleloader data is in here. Testing out some of the angled shooting, stuff like that, trying to practice in the mountains around here, and it is flawless. So it's a little bigger rangefinder, but it definitely fits inside of here just fine and dandy. And then obviously I have tethers. I'm a big tether person. Don't be like Omar. Tether up always. Sorry, Omar. You do try to tether, but sometimes you don't, and I've seen your binos fall off. And then on the bino side too, I have 1 tether. I don't like to have 2 tethers on binos. I feel like 1 on the left side is plenty good. I can pick up my binos and glass with the tether on. Obviously take it off when I'm doing some other glassing, but that just makes it so when I have my bino harness open and I'm making a stock, I lean forward. These aren't going to drop down, hit the ground, go bouncing around, spook my buck, that sort of thing. So that's optic setup. Like I said, this is a very comfortable system. I do like that it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit nimble, it's quiet. People will say, some of the ones with magnets are loud. I've never really experienced that before, but I'm really enjoying this bino harness from Stone Glacier. So that's that part. Tripod. Whew. So when I pick this up, this thing's like just floating. Look how long it stays in the air. Yeah, this floats. Tricer BC tripod. This thing is crazy lightweight. The lightweight spotter and this, I'm saving a ton of weight in my backpack, and I have the Tricer LP pan head up on top. Super buttery smooth. Control everything right here. Control the tension. It's Arca Swiss compatible, so I can swap my spotter on there, put my binos on there. Leg system on the Tricer is actually really unique. The fatter legs are on the bottom. So when you're using this, don't go like that because that's going to be the thinner leg first. You actually use the fat leg first and go all the way around with that. It's actually a really slick way to do it. And Drew over at Tricer definitely is killing the game when it comes to tripod and glassing innovation. This system is very lightweight. It doesn't take up much room on the side of my backpack. So that's the tripod setup I'm going to be using. And as I mentioned before, I do have the all-in digiscoping system, so I have the all-in phone case on my 15 Pro Max. All right, so that's my optics setup. It's a little bit trimmed down, you know, a little bit lighter weight for this year, and excited to get out in the mountains and put them to the test. All right, we're gonna jump into backpack right now. So again, I don't switch things very often, but I've been using the Initial Ascent backpack, as a lot of you guys know. The past year, packed out, you know, my moose with it when I was hunting with Brian and Ryan last year. The spring on a bear hunt, packed out my bear, packed out a ton of gear. It was stupid heavy weight, and I just love, you know, this backpack can hold heavy weight. And as you see here, I do have a lot of specialty items that add up to a lot of weight, and then packing out just makes it a lot more comfortable. And I just love the design, the features, like everything about this backpack. So this is the Initial Ascent 8K backpack. I've said it a million times on all the podcasts, all the videos we've done. If you're going to get one size Initial Ascent backpack, get the 8K. As you can see here, you can compress it down really small if you need to. Obviously, I can compress it down even smaller, but it's just the perfect size when you go into an early season hunt, late season hunt, whatever it may be. I feel like this is a great system to utilize, because that way you have room for all your clothes, room for all your food, that sort of thing. The frame on the back is super comfortable. I feel like you can haul so much weight with this setup, and just happy that backpack fits me really well for my long torso, 22 and a half inch torso. And I love that there's no more floppy lid syndrome when you're wearing a bunch of other backpacks, because the way this system works, top lid can stay on here when you don't have a lot of volume in your backpack. It's not flopping around. I use the, I believe it's a medium waist belt. I have one of their regular zippered hip pockets on the side, water bottle holder. On the other side, I have one of their larger ones. I can put my cell phone, you know, headlamp, whatever it may be in there. And yeah, just an awesome backpack. Cotton carrier system, because I do have my Sony A7R4 that I carry all the time. Try to take photos while I'm out there, enjoying myself, living life to the fullest. So I do have a cotton carrier on the side. The load panniers inside on the shelf already. So that's where I'm going to hold my meat. So I keep that on all the time. I'm actually going to sandwich my game bags in between there while I go on the hunt. The bear hunt, that actually worked really, really well. That way my game bags aren't sitting in the bottom of my backpack. But everything you see here, camera holder, you know, pockets, water bottle holder, that sort of thing. Total weight comes out to 7.67 pounds for the Initial Ascent 8K. All the accessories. Ooh, did forget one thing. I have the Initial Ascent rifle holder as well. That's going to hold my muzzleloader. I actually really like having that muzzleloader down the middle of the backpack. That worked out really well bear hunting this last year with my rifle setup, rather than having on the side, because usually I have a heavier than normal weapon, and so it usually leans to one side or the other. Having it right down the middle is really, really nice, and I can adjust that length of that rifle holder so it's not making my, you know, the stock of my muzzleloader in this case digging in the ground when I'm sitting down. So it works out really well, especially with all the straps to strap in my muzzleloader really safely on Initial Ascent 8K backpack. And then along with that too, I do have the Initial Ascent rain cover. You gotta have a rain cover. I don't care what backpack you have a rain cover. It will rain on you in the high country. All right, next up, we're now kind of getting into a bunch of these like miscellaneous little categories. They're all obviously gear, but I try to separate them out into little smaller micro categories. That way I can tell, again, the weight I'm carrying for all of these and how to modify to make it so I have a better, more dialed system. So this is what I call basically my optics accessories kit. So this weighs in at 0.37 pounds. Basically a Go Hunt gear bag. This is size extra small. Perfect size for all my optics accessories. And what I mean by optics accessories, a lot of it is cleaning supplies, that sort of thing. So open this up. I have some Zeiss lens wipes in here. I have a lens towel. I have a couple extra batteries in here for my Kestrel. I do have a couple bits in here that I'll attach on my goat knives, and I would have the right sizes. Maybe something gets loose on my muzzleloader. I need to, you know, retorque things down, that sort of thing. So I want to have some of those bits that fit in the back of my goat knives. That's why my goat knife is basically dual purpose. It's a knife, obviously, but then a tool as well, utility tool. I do have an Anchor USB-C to USB-A converter. You'll see here I have a Grack saw. I have one of the old Grack saw boot dryers, and obviously this is USB-A, and all my charge bricks, you can see in a little bit, are USB-C. So I have to be able to, plug that in and make it work. So that's in there. Like I said, lens wipe, clean my optics. I always feel like you need clean optics. I feel like a lot of people don't have the proper gear to clean optics when they're in the field. Yeah, you can use your shirt, but do you really want to use your shirt or part of your hunting gear to clean your expensive optics that you spent a lot of money on? Because what do your optics do? They help you find animals to then go and kill that animal. So keep your optics nicer in the field, clean them regularly, clean them in the camp always, and that's why I think this optics kit works really well. So I also have this little grenade-looking optics blower, just to basically clean off all the lenses, clean off my camera, that sort of thing, and just keep things clean when I'm out there. I'll use this quite a bit throughout the whole day, just to keep my optics, again, clean, keep the lenses clean so they don't get scratched. Ooh, here's another random thing. So like I said, this is optics, but it's also just other things that are electronic based. This is the charger to my Whoop 4.0 strap. In here I have 2 of the Nitecore NB 10,000 Gen 3 power banks. So I've always been intrigued to these power banks. If you look at any sort of ultralight backpacking, Reddit thread, forum, whatever it may be, people talk about Nitecore all the time. Some of the old ones had, I'm not gonna say major issues, but they had issues. So I was thinking about buying the Gen 2 for a while, but they had an issue where the power button could get pushed, and then you get into like lockout mode where you can't actually use this device unless you actually plug it into an outlet to use. I know people were making little capsules that go around this to fix that, but they finally came out with the Gen 3 literally like a couple weeks ago, and I've been waiting for that to happen for a while because now there's 2 USB-C ports in the back, better battery indicator. These things are lightweight. I can't remember what they weigh exactly, maybe like 5.3 ounces. They're 10,000 size, so the super small. They're gonna last me at least usually 3 charges, what I've been figuring I'm getting right now out of them. And I just keep those in here. And I do label them 1 and 2. That way if I know one shits the bed, I know not to use that one anymore, or I know this is one that's getting lower, I need to start charging it, because after a while you hunt with these things for a couple of years, you're gonna eventually have one that works better than the other. So I just wanna kind of track that and see what the performance levels are of those battery packs. For cords, I do try to simplify my cords as best I can. I have a 1-foot section, USB-C to USB-C. I'd use this to charge my cell phone, because obviously 15 Pro Max, USB-C. Also my Garmin InReach is USB-C. Probably have a couple other USB-C items in here, not sure. But basically I like to try to find all items that's gonna match. I don't have to use multiple cords. Like this Shorty, it's gonna work really well just to charge these up. I do have to have a USB-A to USB-C, because the Anchor, again, because we have a lot of things here with old technology and I'm too cheap to buy some new things, but this is USB-A. So if I wanna use my Anchor to charge up my bricks or charge up my phone, I have to have the USB-A to USB-C. And then I do have another micro cord, USB-A to micro USB on the end. This is for charging like my Petzl. It's also for charging my SteriPen. So hopefully SteriPen, if you're listening, come out with the USB-C SteriPen so I can stop carrying these stupid little cords. Lens pen, this is a just micro lens pen. Very, very tiny, very small, brush in the end, little cap on the front, clean those optics, keep them clean. So that's everything in optics accessories. We're gonna jump into more of the miscellaneous bags. And so as Omar was just saying, these are some of the most important bags, and he made a call out for that on his gear list, and I would agree as well that these little bags, obviously I just got done doing one as well, like these are the nitty gritty, like the personalization, customization, the weird, like unique things that you can do to your gear list to make them more comfortable, more effective, that sort of thing. So I really feel like it's beneficial to go really in depth with exactly what we're carrying in all these bags, and Omar made that call out and that was really good, so I did the same thing. So this is my kill kit. Again, this is a kill kit, possibles pouch, has a lot of safety things inside of it. 1 pound, 1.07 pounds total kit. So again, it's gonna be my kill kit. Obviously this is the Go Hunt gear bag. This is the Tyvek version. This is the one where I told Kevin in the office we should take Tyvek and make some cool stuff out of it. And I love these Tyvek bags. They're lighter than the other gear bags. They're really durable. I love, obviously, when they're white, they look super cool. But how cool is that when it gets really dirty and really abused over several years of use? I just love dirty looking gear. So sorry, all my new stuff that I might have. I can't wait to get it dirty and get some wear marks on it. But kill kit. Dive into here. Aquamira Part A and Part B. These are just my backup water filtration. I keep them in my kill kit. That way they're just not floating around in my backpack. But Part A, Part B. I have some little containers at home. Sometimes I'll take these Part A and Part B, put them in different containers, because these things right here, these little suckers will last 3-4 years. Like, there's so much solution inside of here. But this is just my backup in case I run out on my main stereo pen. Do a bunch of random paracord in here. Can't even remember what size. This might be like 1.5 millimeter paracord, just for fixing things. Really, whatever gear might break, bootlace might break, needs some sort of backup way to tie some meat on. Maybe I hang a bunch of meat and my other cords or whatever, maybe I lose them and just need something to fix things. Just survival stuff. Salt pills, Advil. A lot of times I pop a lot of salt pills during the day when I'm hiking around, just helping me so I can stay in prime shape when I'm out in the mountains. I do have some Advil in there just in case myself, camera guy, gets a headache or whatever, and just carry them. I really don't use them too often, the Advil, except for salt pills. I will pound those all the time on a hunt just to stay focused. Other random things inside here. This is a Z-Pack slick line cord. This is my food hanging cord. This is, I think, 50 or 100 feet. Can't remember exactly. Probably 100 feet based on the size. Lightweight, durable, and again, slick. So I really like this over this cord. This cord, you throw it up and over a tree, gets in a little notch area. It's kind of hard to pull. Where the slick line, I don't know how they do it, but it's actually coated really, really nice, and it's slick. So it slides up and over tree branches really easy. And so every time you're going into the mountains, when you got bears, you're gonna want to hang your food. So obviously over here, I'll just talk about now, I have an Outdoor Research 15-liter stuff sack. 15 liters sometimes is not enough when you're doing 9 to 10 days in the mountains with all this food. So a lot of times I might use one of my game bags for the time being on the early part of the hunt until I get down to a point where I don't have to use my game bag anymore and everything can fit in there. That's why it's a dual purpose. I don't have to carry an extra bag. I do have some extra game bags. And then if I kill, obviously when I come back, I'll throw some meat in those game bags to make it work. But that guy right there is a carabiner. So that's in this kit. Backup headlamp, Petzl E-Light. It takes 2 little watch batteries. It's not the brightest headlamp in the world, but it's very lightweight. I have some Tenacious tape here. It's repairing gear. Getting down to some good stuff. This is a Pyro Putty, just a little fire starter. Little backup, again, in case all my lighters go bad. I gotta do some Pyro Putty shoved in the back. Obviously I can scrape off here with a little scraper and then try to get a fire started. So never know when you're in that survival situation on top of a mountain, it's raining, lightning all around you, and you need a fire right now. So I do carry some backup stuff there. Bic lighter, I have a large and I have a backup small one. Again, just have some extras. Never know when one's gonna die on you, especially in the high country. And right here, I do have a Right in the Rain mini pen. So some of these states you actually go to, you have to sign your tag after you kill. That is very important. Read those regulations fully. Jump over to Go Hunt, check out the state profiles, check out the species profiles, find out all those little nitty-gritty details about the state you're going to, and know what you have to do to make things legal. So this pen folds out. It's Right in the Rain. I used to use all the time when I was doing fisheries work. Always wet, I can write it no matter what. So if it's raining on me, I can still sign my tag really, really well. And obviously this folds up. Knife, this is the Goat Knives Ibex. This thing is bad to the bone, super lightweight, has that 1/4-inch bit on the back for using those little bits I talked about before, so I can adjust things on my muzzleloader as need be. Sheath obviously in the front, it takes replaceable blades. We'll get to those here in a second. I believe I have 6 60A just replaceable blades. I prefer replaceable blade knives. I don't want to deal with sharpening a knife on mountain mountains. I know there's some really good fixed blade knives. and I have used them before, but this is just so easy and convenient to me. Pop a new blade in, I'm cutting. I break one, pop a new blade in, I'm cutting. Just make sure though, you use these things, you break a blade, you change a blade, put that old blade back inside here, put it in your kill kit right away. Don't be that person who breaks a blade or takes a blade, flicks it off into the forest so that next time someone's out there, they're gonna get cut. Don't be that person. Take care of the mountains, take care of Mother Nature. Take these, put them in there, put them in your bag right away so you don't get cut as well. But 6 of these will easily handle a full mule deer. Small roll of electrical tape. I use electrical tape all the time on my muzzle barrel, or maybe I need a fixed piece of gear. I do have some other tape on my trekking poles as well, but this is just a little backup piece of electrical tape just in case. Oh boy, we're getting to the fun part here. So, everyone knows I always have some crazy pieces of gear that save me weight, barely any ounces I'm saving a few grams, maybe here and there. But I'm like, might as well save a few ounces because I carry heavy things like optics, I carry a heavy weapon, that sort of thing. So where I can, I try to cut some stuff. So this is my little toothpaste. You could probably see me use these a lot before. It's a little tiny mini Colgate toothpaste. Some people are like, oh, this will only last you one day. This will last me probably all hunting season. And I love brushing my teeth. I brush my teeth every single day. Mom, if you're listening, keep my teeth nice and clean. This little guy. So in years past, I've had a little toothbrush from Z-Packs. It was really small and worked really, really well. It was really lightweight. This is one that I actually saw on Kickstarter. Someone sent me a DM on Instagram about this because I knew I'm a psycho when it comes to, saving ounces. Ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain. Choose your pain wisely, that sort of thing. So this is, I can't remember the name now. Sorry, but this guy was on Kickstarter. I missed Kickstarter. I wish I could have supported you on Kickstarter for this. It's a super lightweight toothbrush. See, this is the toothbrush. It's just the brush part. But the neat thing about it, it has this little O-ring system on the back, and then you take your Go Hunt spork, any one of these sporks that has a hole in the back, and I just keep my spork in my kill kit so it doesn't float around. You take this guy, put it in the back, there's a little button on the bottom, put it right there. Now I have a toothbrush, and now it's long enough. Before my toothbrush was really short, I always had like stick it in the back of my, try to get all that teeth, but now I can dual purpose, use the spork. I already carrying the spork to eat some meals, and now it's going to do make a toothbrush as well. So I'm very excited about this product. I know most of you are like, this is a stupid thing, really dumb, but I like it. So again, you don't have to use what I use, but I get excited about random things, and that's one of them. So again, just trying to save some weight. So that is kill kit, possibles pouch, some emergency stuff. I think I still probably got some more in other places, but yeah, we'll jump to the next thing right now. All right, we're gonna jump into my sleeping setup right now. So this includes shelter, pad, sleeping bag, obviously. So we'll jump right in on sleeping pad. So this is the Thermarest Neoware X-Therm NXT. This is the new version. This is the size regular, it's not the size long. I try to save some extra weight there. I don't feel like I need to have a long one, even though I am giant and probably should. It saves me some weight. The reason I have this one is because I picked it up when I could not buy an Uberlight because I couldn't find one for the longest time. I think there's now Uberlights available, but Uberlight is probably my favorite. It's going to save me some more ounces, but this one is actually really good R value for later in the season, but still not crazy heavy. So right now, because I'm cheap, I'm just going to continue using this one until I destroy this. So Thermarest Neoware X-Therm NXT for my pad. Which one's going to be here? This right here is a Sea to Summit compression sack. I think this is the extra small size. And inside here is my shelter. So obviously I can, if I get this right, compress this even smaller. I really like compression sacks because it allows me to, again, compress it. So this is my shelter. Everything I need right here in my shelter. Stone Glacier, Sky Air ULT. It's the tarp, the mesh insert, the vestibule, everything right there. So I can compress it really far down. It's not going to get wet either. Let's say if this rolls out of my backpack and I'm trying to unload everything, I don't want to get my shelter completely soaked. So this also adds some protection on my shelter. If it is inclement weather and I'm trying to set up my shelter really quickly, this can sit out in the rain for a little bit before I have to get all my other stuff out. And again, another Sea to Summit extra small compression sack. This can compress, I'm not going to do it right now for you, but I can compress this really, really small. This is just the Stone Glacier's quilt, and really like a quilt setup because it works well when you combine it with the early season hunt. Again, I'm not the person who needs to have a 15 degree or a 0 degree bag on every single hunt. That's just adding a lot of weight. So early season, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit more because it is potentially going to be warmer. Yeah, high country can be cooler out, but again, I do have all these other insulation layers. I could wear my mid-weight layer. I could put some, those zip-off bottoms on if I need to, if I do get cold. So I feel like you can get by with the quilt during the early season hunts, and I have all those other insulation layers if need be. And then the stake setup, stake for the shelter. I believe the Sky Air ULT, the full setup takes 10 or 11 stakes. So now I have 11 stakes in here. I have the Hyperlight Mountain Gear, these longer stakes. I really like these stakes because they're a little bit more diameter than some needle stakes. Needle stakes, I toss them away every single time. If you guys need some needle stakes, I probably have a ton I could just get rid of because I don't feel like they're great for any sort of camping stuff because the surface area is not thick enough. So you get in high wind situations, they pull out really, really easy. They always bend, they always break when you try to hammer them in. These suckers, I've used them a lot. You see they're beat up with rocks on top and they just work. So they're actually really lightweight too. So I use those. I actually have one just normal DAC stake right here. These ones are actually way stronger than any of the whatever the MSR groundhog stakes. Those things break all the time too. They suck. But these stakes will hold up really well. So I have one of those. That way it's a little bit lighter. So I just combo that with those other bigger stakes. Pillow. So I hate pillows. I hate inflatable pillows. Used to use them all the time. Thought they were cool. They're lightweight, weigh like 1.2 ounces. They're inflatable. They're small. But being, I don't know if it's as tall as I am or what, when I'm sleeping on a pad, sleeping on a sleeping bag with a quilt, all those those pillows squirted out at night off my pad. Whether I shoved it in the hood, usually it didn't really work very well because I max out most of the sleeping bags, so the pillow inside there doesn't quite fit. It's not very comfortable. And then I end up just sleeping on the pad without a pillow. So I stopped carrying pillows, started using insulation layers as my pillow. This year I decided to dig back into my gear kit. I remember I had one of these guys. So this is a Z-Packs Dyneema stuff sack with a pillow, basically. So it's a stuff sack right now, made out of Dyneema, but flip it inside out. And on this side is a fleece pillow. So I can take some of my insulation layers, shove it inside there, make a pillow out of it. It's still gonna be lighter than your normal inflatable pillow. I already have those gear pieces, and then it does have a little cord right here that I can wrap around and lock it on my sleeping pad. So my pillow's not gonna squirt out. This is gonna be perfect. I can put this underneath, lay on top of it. If I had a sleeping bag, it could go underneath the sleeping bag on top, that sort of thing. So it's a really slick system that is kind of dual purpose. I can use it as a gear bag if need be, a pillow, and I can again use those insulation layers that I have, and it's still lighter than those inflatable pillows. I mean, this is kind of going to be the sleeping stuff, but obviously I hike around with these. So to use the Sky Air ULT from Stone Glacier, I will have to use a trekking pole setup. Probably when I get back there, I'm going to try to only utilize one trekking pole and then try to find some sort of stick potentially to use, because I really want to have one trekking pole hiking around these, navigating all the cliff bands in the state I am hunting. So these are just the Peaks Backcountry Elite Carbon Cork trekking poles. And I do have a bunch of Gorilla Tape attached on here. I do see a need to add some more Gorilla Tape on this other one. I use the Gorilla Tape a lot for, again, fixing gear in the springtime for killing ticks, or not killing ticks, getting ticks off us. But just always have some backcountry repair needs, and that's why I wrap a bunch of Gorilla Tape on there. So yeah, Peaks Backcountry Elite trekking poles. And that pretty much rounds out all the camping section. Now we'll jump into another one. All right, we're gonna jump in another category right now. Category is just a random one I just call gear. So not sure if some of these other ones go into my other categories. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I'm just gonna kind of roll with it. The weight might be a little bit off, but it's actually, if you look at my Excel sheet, you'll see it all broken down exactly what items go into this gear category. But right now I have my gear category weighs 4.95 pounds. Could be a lot of the miscellaneous stuff that doesn't go into other places. Like I said, I already mentioned this earlier. I have an Anchor solar panel. I just want to be able to charge things up when I'm in the backcountry. Any day that's actually sun, I will lay this out, try to charge my charge bricks, try to charge my phone in reach, because I don't want to get days behind on charging, because I could have 5 days in a row of nasty weather and not be able to charge my stuff. So I want to be able to use my phone to map, because I'm also using it as a hunting tool as well. You guys have heard me harp on that all the time, that a map is more than a map, it's a hunting tool. So I want to be able to mark all the bucks I see, mark camp, that sort of thing, try to hone in on finding deer. So I use the solar panel all the time to charge my phone, and like I said, everything else. So there's that. Stereo pen. This probably went in more of my safety stuff earlier, or my kill kit, but I use a stereo pen. Just super lightweight way to purify water. It does take that micro USB cord, so we'll try to charge it. I usually try to keep this warm by keeping it in my sleeping bag if it is going to get colder out, because I don't want it to freeze. But when I'm actually out hunting, I'm not taking this silly little container. I'm just putting this in my backpack. So this won't go with me. I just have it right now. So stereo pen. Talk about the Graxaw boot dryers. These things are phenomenal. Garmin InReach Mini 2, able to message family, friends, girlfriend, loved ones, family, like I said, mentioned earlier already, but backcountry peace of mind, always have it, utilize it all the time. Showed that other one, but this is just a Z-Packs glasses case, because I am blind as a bat, so I do have my glasses, and I do have contacts when I go out there as well. So just a lightweight way to protect my glasses. Don't have my glasses in there. Med kit. This is the Stealthy Hunter med kit. I kind of went in here and kind of modified some things, but mostly it is the Stealthy Hunter med kit. Did cut off some of the cordage, try to shave some weight there. So that's probably like safety gear, but that's that. Other gear pieces. So right here is Stone Glacier's tarp, and I use the Stone Glacier bag because it's actually lighter than using a compression sack. But then in here I have their guy lines, and I have this Dyneema sack that has these carbon fiber stakes for the shelter. These are just really old Rudderlacura carbon fiber. They say they're arrow stakes. Carbon arrow stakes with a little tip on the end, and they work really well. Super lightweight. And I just keep them in the sack. I think I have 6 of them because they're so light. Got playing feeler there. So I always carry a tarp with me because I want to be able to glass during the middle of the day, or if there's a storm coming in, I can put the tarp up in 2 seconds and wait out a storm. So that's the tarp. All right, now we're going to jump into the cook kit. My cook kit's pretty trimmed down, pretty simple. It weighs 0.88 pounds. And including with the cook kit weight is my spork, which is obviously in my kill kit right now. But this is a Jetboil Stash. Really like it. It's got these little flux rings on the bottom. It's going to help heat up things really, really quickly. And then obviously you can see here I beat it up and melted it. I do have the lid on top. This is the Jetboil Stash stove part. And I just have 1 fuel canister. Usually 1 fuel canister is going to get me by for plenty of days. Usually try not to use it too much, but I don't have to. But quick boil and that's it. So cook kit's pretty simple. Fuel canister, stove. I just really like this one. Lightweight, folds up, and works. So use what you like. I like this one. All right, when it comes to water, these are going to be things that we covered kind of earlier. Stereo pen, Aquamirror drops. I do carry a 6-liter Jerome Light bag. This is the bag that I absolutely love. It's allowing me to get a lot of water, and it's really lightweight. So if I see a water source and I'm hiking back to camp, fill this one up, bring it back to camp. That way I have water when I'm at camp. And this is just the Go Hunt Nalgene. This is one of the lightweight versions. Don't remember what it's called, but it's one of the lighter weight Nalgenes, the white color. I have it filled with water right now because if I'm going on the trailhead, I will have this filled up with water. 1 liter in the backpack. I also have this Platypus soft water bottle. It's another 1 liter water bottle, super lightweight, folds up. I can put it in the side pocket of my hip belt, and if I come across another water source, now I have 2 liters easily accessible at all times. So I like this rather than using a Camelback style Platypus, water reservoir with a hose, whatever you might use, because this just is easier, quicker setup for me. I just used to use that stuff back in the day. Now I've kind of refined it, and I just like using a water bottle, and I'm kind of like a camel. I don't drink a lot of water when I'm out there. I wish I would drink more water, but every time I see a water source, I will refill this up and try to drink it. That way I do try to force water down my system. But you can get those bigger water bottles. I just feel like this is a better option. So If I was probably hunting in more areas that were arid and desert, maybe I would consider modifying my system and having some more water bottles, but this is going to get me by perfectly when I'm in the high country of whatever random state I'm going to. All right, we're coming down to some of the last pieces of the puzzle here on my backcountry gear list. Forgot to talk about this earlier. This is the Petzl Actic headlamp. Really bright headlamp. I believe it's 600 lumens, if I remember right. The only downside is it does take a micro USB. So if you're listening, Petzl, make a USB-C. Get with the times so we can recharge it easier. It does also take 3 AAA batteries, but I hate carrying extra batteries, so I can charge it up when need be using all my other charge kit stuff. So Petzl Actic, really bright headlamp. All right, we're now coming to the ever controversial section of my gear list. This right here, you see this size, this way, this way. This is 1.1 ounces of shit ticket. So also known as toilet paper. This is all I need for 10 days. I don't know what to say. People will say, oh, well, remember Brady when we went to Tajikistan, you ran out of toilet paper and you had to use your hand? Yeah, I remember that too. I was there. It wasn't fun. But I was sick off high elevation pills, so that's why, I ran out. That wasn't a backcountry hunt. I was going back to a place every single night, so I should have been smarter and packed a little bit more. But normally, 1 ounces. This is 1.1. Maybe I figured, normally I carry 0.9 or 1 ounce. Maybe I did the 1.1 because I saved some weight on my toothbrush. I don't know. But this will last me 10 days. I don't believe in wet wipes. I hate wet wipes. This is all I need. I keep my body regular, I guess, if you want to get really personal about it. And that's all I need. So if you want to use a big giant roll, you can. The only thing I will say too about wet wipes and toilet paper while we're on the subject, I can burn these if I need to, use them as a fire starter. You can't use wet wipes as a fire starter, and wet wipes will freeze. And it's not fun to use when they're frozen. So use what you want, but this is what I use. 1.1 ounces. And yes, I do use it very sparingly. I always come back with extra, if you can imagine that. So that's that. Now you know a lot of personal items about me. Go hunt game bags while we're on the subject. I think this should have been included with the gear section. Sorry, but these are the go hunt game bags. I carry 4 total. I do 3 of the zippered. 1, 2, 3 zippered. Love the zippered ones. Zippered ones are the ones I helped design. Love the handles. Love all the accessories on it. Love the reflective cords. The size is really perfect. I like these a lot because in a load shelf, I like to fit them vertically, whereas you get these other big giant game bags, you shove meat in there, the meat just always goes to the bottom and squirts out the side, and it's not like, I don't know, doesn't fit well on the backpack. Where these, if I fill them up, I can put 2 of them vertically. That's gonna be better than having, one that's all the meat's all squashed down the bottom and really awkward to use. So these work perfect for a deboned mule deer. So a lot of times there might even be some extra space in there too, but 3 is going to cover you really, really well. And I do have that 4th extra one for the hide, since end goal is to take an old mature buck, and I want to get the buck taxidermied. So I will carry a 4th game bag. This is just a medium go hunt game bag, and like I said too, I will use this at camp on the early part of the hunt as a food hanging bag until I get rid of that food, and I'll throw this back in my backpack. But by I'm out there, these 3 will get me by to take care of all the meat. Then my hide, I'll just shove it in my backpack and then deal with it when I get back to camp. So 4 game bags total, really lightweight, really nice. All right, so I see this little guy creeping in the corner here. This kind of, I guess, could fit in with the weapon area, but this should have been with my optic setup. So this is the Stealthy Hunter glassing pad. You can see here, mine is absolutely beat up, but still kicking. Use this all the time. Obviously, sitting down glassing, at camp, sitting down. Uses it as a little doormat if I need to get out of my shelter. I always say that if you glass more comfortably, you'll glass a lot longer and be more effective at glassing. So I do like to have a glassing pad, and this also works really well when you're glassing on snow. Get off that snow, get off the cold ground. If it's raining, wet out, whatever. And this also can be dual purpose for a rifle setup. So I can actually bend this in the back like this, put the rear of my gun stock in there, and then be able to take a shot if need be. And I've also used it before to block the wind when I'm utilizing my stove if I'm trying to make coffee in the middle of the day. So there's that guy. All right, probably should have done this one first because Obviously, this is a very essential piece of this backcountry gear list, but this is my open sight muzzleloader setup. So this is a Arrowhead Rifles muzzleloader. It's a 45 cal muzzleloader. This is the exact same muzzleloader that I killed my bullock with last year. You guys probably saw the film, Numbers. If not, check it out. It's a pretty good film. Shameless plug. But this is finally my own. So last year I borrowed a muzzleloader. Jim from Marsupial allowed me to borrow his Arrowhead. And after shooting it, I was like, I have to get one. I had to get one. I love muzzleloader hunts. I feel like muzzleloader hunts open the door to drawing more tags. And I do like, obviously I reload all the time for my rifles. This is kind of that same sort of thing, figuring out what powder charge works well, bullet combination, all the little intricacies of setting up a muzzleloader I really, really enjoy. So Arrowhead Rifles built me this muzzleloader. I've had it for a couple weeks now. I'm just kind of getting familiar with it. So I will do a standalone video on, more of the muzzleloader, how it's shooting, feet per second, extreme spread, that sort of thing, how much powder I'm using, showcase me shooting it. But this is just a quick overview of the muzzleloader. Okay, so as I said earlier, Arrowhead Rifles, 45 cal muzzleloader. We have a Macmillan Game Warden long range stock. I had it custom painted. Absolutely love how the paint turned out. Brux barrel, again 45 cal. Has their Arrowhead's 20 MOA pick rail on here. You'll see in the front, in the back, I have the Revic EXO sight system. So this is an MOA style adjustment. I can dial it up. Little aperture in the back is going to raise and lower. And then I have a Lee Shaver crosshair in the front. So I'm still experimenting on different Lee Shaver inserts, painting, non-painting, trying to figure out the best way I can get the most accurate shooting. But I really do love this Revic sight because it allows me to dial. So I can take all my ballistics data from my rangefinder, range, it's going to shoot me out the MOA, dial to the MOA, lay down, press the trigger, get a big mule deer. So it's really expensive, I will say that, but if you're going to be serious and you want to get a muzzleloader and want to kind of have fun with the muzzleloader setup, that's going to be an awesome setup. It doesn't allow you to take stupid long distance shots. I think that's what a lot of people think of when they think of these muzzleloaders is there's going to be guys winging shots with an open sight setup at 500-600 yards. That's not what you're doing with this setup. It's all limited by your eye. So it's going to make you more precise, and that's going to make you a better shot when you're in that 100, 150, maybe 200 yards on a muzzleloader. You're going to be more precise in that you owe it to that animal to make the best shot possible. So I feel like this is a very, very legit setup. Obviously you can do anything else if you want to, but for me, it works. On the side here, I actually took a Flatline Ops Tango 2.0 level system that goes on a pick rail. I've had these on my rifles for a long time, and I saw it the other day sitting on my rifle, and I was like, shoot, that'd be actually really slick on my muzzleloader because there's no way to level these on the field with the setup that they have right now. So this allows me to get the gun, level right before I take a shot, and obviously I can flip it. Either way, it's going to be off to the side, so it's not going to get banged around or break. This uses Arrowhead's breech plug system. Also uses Arrowhead's priming modules. They're really slick, really easy to use. And this is, again, an inline muzzleloader, so that's why it has a big bolt and looks a little bit different than your normal muzzleloader setup. So going into the bipod, MDT SkyPod Gen 2 single pull. Love this bipod. It allows a lot of adjustability. Just works perfect for me. It's a little bit heavier than normal for sure, but it works. I have a short action precision throw lever on the front of that. Arrowhead Rifles 3-port muzzle brake. That thing tames the recoil of these, heavy hitting muzzleloaders. Trigger Tech trigger, I have it set at 1 pound, 10 ounces right now. And I believe that's everything on this muzzleloader. Obviously, open sight system. It shoots very, very accurately. And again, we'll do a lot more videos, me actually shooting it, going out in the range. Inside this Go Hunt gear bag, this is one of the Tyvek gear bags, size small. I have all my muzzleloader accessories. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit heavy when you're talking about a muzzleloader because you do have a lot of accessories that you need when you're hunting with a muzzleloader. So obviously I have a, ramrod in the front to load the muzzleloader. And then all these other accessories in here too will help me shoot and take shots. So this is a Rugged Ridge rear support system. If you haven't seen it before, basically has multiple different shooting positions on it. I can put this in, let's do this low position on the back of the gun. I can slide it and lower it to take a, if I want to shoot downhill, move it backwards. If I want to raise the gun up, move it forwards. And again, you can use all these different adjustment heights, and it sits back there, and it's a lot lighter than using a rear shooting bag or that sort of thing. It can fit in the pocket if I need to, and just really slick, works really well. Like you actually can dig it in the ground and actually get really stable shots with it too. Little Go Hunt ear protection, gotta have that. Arrowhead loading funnel, so I can load it when I'm in the field. I do have 10 of these little charge tubes. So I've used charge tubes in the past out of the Blackhorn brand, the extra large ones. They have like the blue top on it, and they just push in and out based on friction. Luke over at Arrowhead Rifles, you get these when you purchase a muzzleloader. And I actually really like these a lot more because these are twist caps. So I've had times before on muzzleloader hunts where they're the ones that just push in when you're hiking around on an elevation change, whatever, that the caps actually open up and you lose a bunch of powder all over your gear bag. So with these being twist, they actually hold on there really, really well, and they're not going to come apart. So I don't have to electrical tape them anymore. That saves me a little bit. They're a little bit heavier than the normal tubes, but that's something I'm going to just deal with. And for the powder I'm using, Blackhorn 209 powder. These are 115 grains by weight. And I say that again, these are 115 grains by weight, not by volume. So 115 by weight for this muzzleloader. And again, I carry 10 of them with me. The only downside too with these sort of systems, and I just have this in here to show you, this is what I used to use before, this little quick loader. These will not fit in the quick loader. You have to use a normal Blackhorn 209 tube. So if you're gonna use this setup with these tubes, obviously it's not gonna fit in there because of the threads. So keep that in mind. And here's the sort of the heavy things that you have to have when you have muzzleloader. So every few days, inclement weather, that sort of thing, rain, snow. If I do have a muzzleloader loaded, I just, even though I try to tape the muzzleloader on the front of the barrel, try to prevent any water from getting in the muzzleloader, you could get some moisture built up in there. So I do carry the wrench to remove the breech plug to be able to dump all the powder, push the bullet out, and then reload everything. So this is a little bit heavy, just a quarter drive with a 1/2 inch socket on the end. So now I can take the bolt out, obviously, and get the breech plug out. For bullets, I carry 10 of these. These are the Arrowhead, no sizing required, 300 grain bullets. So, I just load these just as is. No sabot or anything like that. Load them right down the barrel. They're sized just for my barrel, so these are the size large ones. But 300 grains of fun up front. And then again, priming modules. So the Arrowhead system uses these awesome priming modules that are super slick and super small. So if you haven't seen them before, again, I'm carrying 10 of them, and I have CCI 250 primers already loaded in there, and these are actually reusable. So basically this bolt, if this was actually in there, these little priming modules will just slide in like that, and then it goes forward, and it wouldn't drop like that because obviously it could be inside there. But super slick little system, and again, you can reload these and use these over and over again. So that's muzzleloader in a nutshell. And again, you do need some extra items when you are going into the mountains with muzzleloader, trying to keep it dry, try to keep everything working properly. Included with keeping it dry, this is a very old Go Hunt Gunslicker. I probably need to find a way to get a new one because it's beat up, has a bunch of holes in it. But this one really works well because it actually fits over top of the Revic sight in the front, and that way it's going to allow me to keep my muzzleloader dry and out of the elements. So that's a look at this badass open sight muzzleloader setup. All right, I guess I forgot to mention weapon weight. So when I talk about weapon weight, that is everything. That is muzzleloader, sight, rod, bipod, powder tubes, bullets, even this little rear rest. So that's everything here. 12.31 pounds for all this stuff. And then last but not least, you need a cooler when you're going out hunting. So cooler, This is a Yeti 105. This is not the exact one I always carry. I prefer a 150, but you can get by on a 105 if you stack your ice properly. I just don't have my 150 here at the office, so I just grabbed the office 105 to show you guys. So getting a cooler that's proper for your hunt is essential. And I was you've heard me talk about before, prepping your cooler before you go hunting, using jugs and freezing those. It's gonna be a lot cheaper than buying block ice or crushed ice. It's gonna last you a lot longer. And once you get back to your truck, you'll have ice in your cooler. So that's cooler. Alrighty, so that covers every single piece of gear I'm bringing on this open sight muzzleloader high country mule deer hunt. If you have any questions, drop in the comments below. Also, be sure to check out the article that will be on GoHunt's website. I'll have this all broken down into an easily digestible Excel sheet. You can copy it, you can clone it, you can use it yourself, put all your gear in there. Again, this is just what I use. Again, I do these videos to help people try to figure out what to pack in the mountains. You don't have to use everything here. These are just suggestions. So utilize that sheet. Hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions about muzzleloaders, backpacking gear, setup, whatever, I'm always here for you guys. So love you all. Have a good day. Best of luck.